Well, big tech continues to be in the spotlight. Social media companies, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter are in all-out scramble right now to remove copies of the violent attack that was live streamed on 2 mosques in New Zealand that left 50 people dead. Facebook now says it's removed 1.5 million copies of the terror attack video, but the problem is different versions of that video continue to pop up on various social platforms hours and days after the attack. So the question that we ask: is big tech doing enough to combat violence and keep these harmful videos off their sites? Our next guest is the founder and the CTO of Cybersponse, Joseph Loomis. He provides security-based technology for companies like Apple and Microsoft. And we're also joined by Mobile Nation's senior editor, Russell Hawley, who covers the technology industry pretty extensively. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on. It's a pretty big topic. It's an important topic. And Russell, I want to begin with you. We're talking about the altering of this video so it could perpetuate in cyberspace. Is there anything that can be done, Russell, to remove it? Because just like the whole argument with Snapchat, it never really disappears.
Yeah, so I mean, a big part of what we're looking at here is that 1.2 million of the videos that were uploaded to the 1.5 on Facebook were actually removed before they were even published. And part of that uses a technology that's similar to Song ID, in that it kind of identifies a section of audio, and if that section of audio lines up, then Facebook knows to immediately cut it. And so, you know, the argument could be made that more segments of audio could be used to match things up because, you know, at some point that video is going to sync up at some point if it's even part of the same video from the clip. But, you know, a lot of this comes from intentionally warping the video in some way so that it can be uploaded and bypassing that. And you kind of have to figure that, you know, there's always going to be some kind of engineering when, as soon as a group of people figure out that a video is being pulled, that trying to find ways around it is going to be the next logical step.
This all sounds so complicated and tech savvy. Joe, you work directly with these big tech companies. They've got artificial intelligence. They have human moderators. They're spending millions and millions of dollars to better combat this. Yet it was the police in New Zealand that first alerted them that this video even existed, that this video was live streamed.
I think Facebook's priority in the past has been different than what it is today. I think now they're controlling their content and their consumption of content, where previously they only cared about the consumption of any content in order to get more visibility and more marketing advertising dollars. Because we all remember when Facebook wasn't profitable and had no way to monetize its model. I think what we're seeing now is that Facebook's playing a catch-up, where they have so much content being generated that it's difficult for them to even be aware of what's going on and what's being published. When authorities are, you know, advising them and, you know, notifying them of this type of content being created, it's very difficult to kind of catch it before the avalanche while it started. And the only real time, like Russell was saying before, is to catch it before it's posted so it does not spawn itself. It's become an infinite game of chase, of cat and mouse, that it's extremely difficult to stop something once it's made its way into the market.
Yeah. Maybe there needs to be a delay when it comes to live streaming, or maybe there needs to be new policies when it comes to violent video that is being perpetuated on these sites. I want to pivot here, though, and I want to talk about the work that Google, another big tech company, has done specifically in China. And I'll start with you, Russell, on this. I want you to listen to something that the senator from Missouri had to say to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
You're telling me that Google, an American company, supposedly, is refusing to work with the Department of Defense, but is doing work in China in a way that at least indirectly benefits the Chinese government. Is that correct?
The work that Google is doing in China is indirectly benefiting the Chinese military. And I've been very public on this issue as well. In fact, the way I described it to our industry partners is, look, we're the good guys. In the values that we represent, in the system that we represent, is the one that will allow and has allowed you to thrive.
Russell, you heard from General Dunford there. How detrimental is this to us in America?
I honestly don't think it's particularly detrimental at all. I feel like that statement is kind of intentionally made to be vague, and you can't really give a lot of details in this situation to begin with, so it's hard to know what exactly it means to be indirectly, benefiting one government or another. I will say that it's really interesting the way that this works kind of back and forth, that Google has been trying to enter the Chinese market for a really long time. And the last time that it made some success before its services got limited, we didn't see these same complaints appear.
Joseph, do you agree?
I don't agree, and I can tell you why. Because Project Dragonfly was a censorship search engine for China, and that is specifically how they're aiding the government in the totalitarian type of approach. And so what Google's doing is enabling their culture of dictatorship. And the reason why they pulled back out of that is because of that project and how it was unrevealed to the market. But what's interesting enough is over the last 3 months, there's been over 1,000 code changes to Project Dragonfly. And I think that what you're seeing is the reason why Google had to pull out of Project Maiden with the Department of Defense is because they weren't unwilling to, let's just say, unwind the time, or they had too much of a conflict of interest with China, that in order to do certain top secret projects with the Department of Defense, because I know them both very well, you have to actually deconflict yourself. Because Google cannot deconflict itself because it's done too much for Project Dragonfly. It's not able to actually work on U.S. government projects.
Joe Loomis, Russell Holly, thank you for discussing all of that with us today. We appreciate it.